It is time. It is time for another trade-in video. And this time, the Genesis getting revenge. Revenge of the Sega Genesis. Because that's all it's going to be in this video. Because we got a bunch of box Genesis games in. Wanted to show them off. A few loose Genesis games here. First, though, we picked up Aladdin. Disney's Aladdin. With the genie, Aladdin, all that. And we got The Lion King. Another great Disney game. Lion King, Aladdin, the Castle of Illusion games. There's a lot of fun stuff for the Genesis. Good stuff. Let's get into the box games, though. We got Taz in Escape from Mars, featuring Marvin the Martian, I believe. I believe that is his name. Marvin the Martian and Tasmanian Devil. My sister loved Marvin the Martian. And I like these old school Genesis boxes when they're cardboard. But man, these things are almost always in pretty rough shape. And very hard to find them where the bottom just doesn't slide out completely on a lot of them. But we got some nice ones here. Or decent ones, I would say. Here we've got Toy Story for the original Genesis. And like you saw there, it kind of just falls out there. It's no wonder that they switched to those plastic shell ones. But Toy Story is another fun game for the Genesis. Really used a different art style with that kind of digitalized sort of look. Kind of reminds me of Donkey Kong Country in a lot of ways. But it's fun stuff. Good game. Definitely worth checking out. Awesome movie. That's for sure. What is this? Sea Quest. Now, look at that submarine. Pretty funny. I love this old school. Well, not necessarily sci-fi, I guess, but sci-fi enough. I mean, let's be honest. Very interesting looking game. I have no idea what this is. I've never heard of it. But it kind of looks like some sort of submarine simulation game. Which there seem to be quite a number of those for the Nintendo and Genesis. I don't know what it was. Gaming was still early, and having home consoles was still very new and novel, and people weren't quite sure what to make still. So people stuck with licensed characters like this. Bugs Bunny, Disney, stuff like that. Bugs Bunny and Double Trouble. Cool little art there. I forget what that red alien is called. Let's take a look, though. What's up, Doc? Of course. As you do. As you do, Bugs Bunny. 3D rendered graphics. That's when we could put that on a box and be proud of it. We have 3D graphics. You gotta buy this one. What else do we got here? We're moving on to the classic plastic shell that I'm sure everyone's used to. Here's the original Tasmania. Though I think this is, I don't know the history of the Genesis boxes, but I know a lot of them have this kind of, like you see on the side of the art there, that sort of wireframe, kind of like checkered box, kitchen floor looking graphic. Reminds me of the Master System boxes in a way. But let's take a look at the back here. Taz's Fast Blast Snack Attack. Wow. This is a pretty good looking game, though, graphically speaking. Genesis was didn't put out quite as nicely as the Super Nintendo, in my opinion. When the games that did go hard for the Genesis, man, they were like some of the best. And here we've got Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Like Dr. Robotnik trying to like steal the number 2, I guess. I don't know. That's just how we design game boxes. This is a game I personally played a lot. I loved. I, of course, played Tails, 2-player mode. But it was fun. It was fun to play as Tails. He could fly. I mean, he was better than Sonic, really. Let's be honest. He couldn't die. He could fly around. He doesn't need a camera to follow him. Really fun game. Amazing music. I think probably the best of the original Sonic games, but a lot of people like Sonic 3. I understand why. I mean, Sonic 3 is such a massive, game. It has Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's hard to compete. There we go. The Sega Club Bearstein Bears Camping Adventure. Now, if you look to the right there, you will see a blue bird. Thinking Twitter may owe royalties to the Bearstein Bears here. I always liked the father and mother in the Bearstein Bears because they looked so ridiculous. My sister watched this show, I think. I think it was a show. Or no, these were books, weren't they? They were books. I forget. But very, very different time. Innocent time. Back when kids shows were allowed to be nice and genuine. And what do we got here? EA Sports. Of course. You thought you could escape it? You thought just because we went back to the Sega Genesis, you would escape sports games? This is where they dawned. This is where sports games first crawled out of the lake and grew legs. We are looking at the fossiled remains of a FIFA soccer game. Here we've got Jurassic Park for the Genesis. There's another one I played on my Genesis when I was growing up. I was a little young for the Genesis, but there's a few games that I will never forget. Not that I played this a lot, but I played the first level quite a lot. So I do remember that. Pretty sure you could be the dude or the raptor, which was really cool. And for some reason, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. That you could be the raptor, or you could be the dude with the guns. It was a lot of fun, and I like all the different guns. Pretty sure you didn't go around with a lightning gun killing dinosaurs in the original Jurassic Park, but you know what? That's why we have video games. We can live the fantasy that the movies would never deliver. And check out the manual here, because this is one I did remember really liking. It was too hard for me as a kid. I got it. Maybe I'll have to get revenge on it. Who knows? But it's cool stuff. Very classic looking box. And here we've got Sonic the Hedgehog. Sega Classics. Classic Sega. Like they called a Sega Classic that early. This is a classic Genesis game, even though the system is still only like 3 or 4 years old. But yeah, this is the Sonic that started it all. Sonic that's still going today. It's kind of crazy, like, looking back, just how it paid off for them, though. I know that Sega doesn't make systems anymore, but Sonic's got his own movies now and all of that. And it's like, well, you pay for the best, and you get a lasting impact, I guess. F-22, airplane game. I really played these airplane simulator games on the Super Nintendo or Genesis. But I do like flying games, so maybe I'll have to check this one out. But the thing is, the ones that tried to go full 3D usually run super slow. But it doesn't matter because look at this. Radical Rex. A skateboarding dinosaur. What more could you want in a video game? It is too hip to be extinct. Obviously, we should have had more skateboarding dinosaurs. We could have had dinosaurs today. That's how Jurassic Park brought back the dinosaurs, as they gave the amber or whatever that was stuck in. They just gave him a skateboard, and you know what? They're like, you know what? I'm too hip to be extinct. They came out doing a kickflip. What do we got here? Alone in the Dark 2. Or Alone in the Dark 2. Home Alone 2. I'm sorry. Lost in New York. I love the classic Coley McCulloch, whatever his name is, his face on the Statue of Liberty there. It's pretty funny. It's been a long time since I've seen Home Alone. But I know it's a classic movie. I like when that was all you needed for a movie. What if every kid wants to be home alone and not have to worry about anything, and they can stay up playing video games? But what if they got robbed while it happened? Good times. Here's young Indiana Jones. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Save the world. Fast and Furious. Cool stuff. Indiana Jones, classic movies. And then we've got the big dog here. High Seas Havoc. The classic. Well, I'm not sure about classic. Maybe hidden gem there. I mean, he's holding a gem. I like there's a walrus pirate as well. I've never played this game, but I have watched gameplay of it, which is good enough as far as the digital age is. And it looks pretty impressive, to be honest with you. Very, very impressive game. Graphically speaking, it looks like it has some pretty fast gameplay. And this is what I'm talking about, because I don't think this came out on the Super Nintendo. And then just when people did it right for the Genesis, man, the games looked like something else. They were absolutely beautiful. I'd say more beautiful than the Super Nintendo myself. And here is The Adventures of Mighty Max. Cartoon I watched a little bit. I remember it, but not enough to actually remember it. Classic 90s cartoon, I believe. Cool stuff. Wear the cap, be the Max, save the planet. Sounds good to me. I did play that game, though, when I was a kid. I played the Mighty Max game. But yeah, those are the Sega Genesis games. Be sure to come to our store in Merritt Island, Florida, and check out the store. See you next time.